Hi everyone and welcome back. It is February here in Melbourne, Australia. That means we are reaching the end of our summer. We're going to be talking all about resetting the garden today. So if you're in Melbourne or anywhere local to Australia, there'll be plenty of this relevant to you in terms of what you can be sowing now, what you can be planting now. But even if you're on the other side of the world, this video will hopefully still be packed full of helpful tips in terms of how to get your garden ready for what's next. If you roll into the next season without properly prepping your garden, you just won't get the same results. Without wanting to be dramatic, it is somewhat of a miracle that anything is still growing in this patch, because while it is traditionally my favourite time of the year, summer, to grow in the garden, life just gets in the way sometimes. We've had 3 busy little kids, we've had a couple of weeks away. I worked at the tennis for something like 16 nights straight, which was unbelievable. But as you can imagine, when I wasn't working and trying to catch up on sleep, I was desperately trying to give the kids the attention that they needed so that they wouldn't lose their mind when I left to go to work again. I've also quit my job, as some of you might have read, which has been extremely freeing. And I've started a bunch of new things. So I've had my first shift working at 3AW Radio. I am taking on a bunch of other freelance projects, and I am getting back into trying to get this social enterprise off the ground. Growing Healthier Futures, all about making it as easy as possible for schools and kindies to get their growing programs going. So life's been busy, but I always feel better when I have a chance to spend time in the garden. And so that's what we're doing today. My name's Christy Cooper, aka Green Thumb Reporter. Come with me as I completely reset my garden beds, ready for a new season. My 2 raised garden beds here are in need of a serious freshen up, because season after season, rather than doing a complete once over, I've sort of just been topping them up a bit and then letting them go. The problem is I've stuck some things in there recently that I'm not prepared to lose. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually save things that have been planted recently and or things that I want to keep growing, and make sure we don't lose plants unnecessarily. So I'm going to start with this bed. You can see there's a zucchini growing in here. I'm also going to build around that. That'll be fine. Clear out. Step 1. When you're resetting your bed, something that's worth thinking about is whether or not the plants that are already in there can have buried stems. So if you're thinking about when you transplant a tomato plant, for example, the advice is that you can always bury the stem deeper to strengthen the plant. Why? Because tomato plants will grow roots out of their stem. So I'm not going to bother taking this tomato plant out, because I can just build it up around the base and make sure I'm using sort of gentle materials around the base. I'm not going to put manure all over it or anything like that, because it'll burn it, but I can build it up around the base, add extra nutrients around the top, and that'll be good as gold. Some other plants don't like having their stems buried, in which case I would take it out and replant, a bit like lettuces, for example. Now, one of the things I've always found really hard is being ruthless with getting rid of things that are growing fine. But I always ask myself, could something else grow better there? And this tomato plant, it ain't doing so well. It's got tomatoes on there, but they're funny coloured. The leaves look diseased. The tomatoes look diseased. I'm just going to have a happier time with this space if I cut my losses. I'll leave some of those on, but I don't want to waste space with something that is not bringing me any joy. So I'm going to chuck these in the compost. I'll leave some of those on. I don't even know why I would bother leaving those on, to be honest. The plant just hasn't done well. Why? Because I haven't been looking after it, and because the soil isn't good enough yet. We're going to do something about that. The easiest way you can support me without spending a cent is to subscribe to the channel. Yes, it's free. And leave me a comment. Tell me what you're growing at home. I read every single one of them, and I try to respond when I can. So the first thing, and what is always the best thing that you can add to any garden bed, is homemade compost. All compost is good, well, from good brands, but nothing beats homemade compost. Now, this homemade compost, it's not perfect. Well, it's okay, but it's not that beautiful black crumbly color. But it doesn't matter, because I made it in a really lazy way. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that when I add homemade compost of any kind of quality to a garden bed, it thrives, and it always does so much better than the garden beds where I've added store-bought compost. That being said, store-bought compost, still great. I go with whichever one I can find that has the red ticks, because green ticks means they've certified that themselves, they think it's pretty good. Red tick means an external person has come in, checked it out and said, yeah, that meets the Australian quality standards. So compost that you buy, look for the red ticks. Green ticks don't mean anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to remove these ones. I'll pull this one out. Oof, doing beautifully. Don't worry, I will not waste that lovely basil. I'm just going to put it back in. And then I'm going to add compost. Compost is one of those things that it's good to grow in straight away. Manure is great for your garden, but it's not good to plant in straight away. So if you're organised enough to be preparing your beds before you're ready to plant in them, then add manure. Give it a couple of weeks to rest. If you're going to be planting straight away, I wouldn't go the manure. Manure is great to have in a garden bed, but it needs time. Oh, see, the further you get down here, I'll show you. This is my imperfect but amazing compost. The further you get down here, you start to see all these worms in there, and that tells you that it's not hot compost. Oh, I just saw them a minute ago, but yeah. See, that's nice. That's nice, isn't it? Oh yeah, there's worms. There's some worms. So this tells you that it might not satisfy the requirements of hot composting, but beautiful nonetheless. Works a treat. You don't need to be perfect to grow. Trust me, I would know. Now, because this stuff is so good and I don't actually have heaps of it, I am going to share the love and add a bag of this compost, which won't be as good, but it'll still be great. Add a bit of depth in here, and I'll save some of that for another bed. Now while we're at it, because I'm not going to put manure directly in here because I want to plant straight into it, I am going to put some dynamic lifter in here. So there is manure in here, but it's in smaller kind of pellet size, and it's a bit older, it's been around for longer. So it'll still add some of that extra nutrients without hopefully being too strong on the plant roots. So I'll add some of that in there. This has got some other good stuff in there like blood and bone, seaweed, fish meal. Smells gross, but plants love it. Alrighty. Now I do want to dig that in a bit. Don't come at me if you're a no-dig gardener. If you've followed my channel before, you'll know that I don't stick to any rules, but I can just feel that this soil underneath isn't great. And the reason that you might not need to dig is if you've already got decent soil under there, but I can feel it's really hard under here. And I've also noticed that it hasn't been draining water very well. So I want to make sure this organic matter is mixed in really nicely. And I'm being very careful not to dig around the roots of the plants that I don't want to disturb. And I'm going to chuck more in there. If you're not going to mix in dynamic lifter or manure, a lot of people will go blood and bone, which you can just sort of sprinkle on top and mix in with your hands if you need to. But if you've got a friend who's an organic farmer and they can give you some chook manure or some horse manure that's had lots of time to rot, they say, lots of time to decompose. You don't want the fresh stuff, that's no good. You want to make sure they're eating grass that doesn't have herbicides in it and stuff. That's even better. Or if you've got your own chooks, beauty. But again, gotta give it time. So that's why I love compost. I don't have to wait. I can plant straight in there. All right, I've got about 15 minutes before I have to pick the little one up. So let's get some things back in. So I'm going to start with some of the things I already pulled out. Lettuce in here. Rocket. Lettuce, cos lettuce. And rocket. Basil, I'm going to keep basil in the corner here because it's one of those things that you want to sort of be able to really easily pick as you go. So I try and think a little bit about functionality too. I did have some corn at the back there, and again it was because I didn't need easy access to it. You only really pick it once, but died over those hot days that we had. Now this spot over here is a possum and rat haven. And I've got a whole lot of spring onion seedlings from Quality Plants and Seedlings. I'm going to put heaps of spring onion in and around here. I've got some passion fruits on here. My vine's not doing well at all, but there's still passion fruits on there that I want to survive. So I'm actually going to put spring onion all around here in the hope that the rats and possums will go, doesn't smell good, I'm going to leave it alone. Oh, wishful thinking maybe, but we'll give it a go. I want this to smell as unappealing as possible. That might be too close. I want this to smell as unappealing as possible for the little critters who want to come for a feast. Next, I've got some purple sprouting kale. I'm just going to do the one in this space, but I'm going to add, oof, look at this. I want this garden to look beautiful, so I'm going to put some of this gorgeous red amaranth in. And again, maybe just one, but it'll add that really stunning pop of colour. Now, I want the bees and the hoverflies to know that this is their happy place. So I've got some marigolds I'm going to chuck in, again, right on the end there. It's my favourite spot for colour and flowers. I've also got some phlox beauty mix. I'm going to add those in too. Colour, bees, all those beautiful things. Just make the place look gorgeous. And let's come down here. I might go 2 of those. Or let's go 1, 2, 3. Move that one in there. In the middle, put those in there. Try and keep the pesky rats at bay. It's just that smell that's hopefully unappealing. Now something else which I've just found, which I love to keep the rats and the mice away, is copper wire. Now copper wire's got so many good uses. One, snails won't climb over copper wire, so copper wire will protect your garden from snails. Also, it's got such tiny little holes. Let me see that. It's got such tiny little holes that the possums and the birds get really annoyed if they come across it because their feet get stuck in there. So it's actually pretty good also at deterring possums, rats and birds because they don't want to get their feet stuck in it. So once I've finished doing this, and I have to keep an eye on kindy pickup, once I've finished doing this, I'm just going to wrap a layer of that around the outside of the bed. But for now, let's quickly get the rest of some of these in. I'll put a sorrel in. Again, it just looks really nice. Colour will be lovely. You can go in there. And now I've got a whole lot of sprouting broccoli, or broccolini is what we tend to call it. The rats and the possums absolutely love it. They'll demolish it. But if I plant enough and wrap it in that wire, maybe they'll leave it alone. We'll give it a go. Again, I'm putting it in the middle so that it's not a simple reach over and grab kind of thing. Actually, do you know what? These are so popular with the rats and the possums. I might just wrap that copper wire just around these guys. Let's do that, shall we? And I'll put one more spring onion in here. Spook them away. And water it in. Enter at your own risk. Little wrap bags. See how that works. Finally, I'm going to show you the quickest and simplest way to sow carrot seeds that you've ever come across. I try to go rainbow carrot seeds and or just purple carrot seeds because it's so easy to buy carrots in the supermarket. You get a big bag of them, they're thick and luscious for $2 and you look at your own and go, So I try and grow things that I can't easily buy cheaply from the supermarket. You ready? Oh, gotta go to Kinder. Gotta be at Kinder pick up in 10 minutes. Gotta leave in 2 minutes. So watch this. Some people have a nervy watching this. Guess what? If I don't do this, the seeds don't get sown. If the seeds don't get sown, they get wasted. So I would much rather sow the seeds, have a little bit of chaos, and then when they poke up, I can thin them out. All right, pick up time. How's that? It's like 30 seconds. All right, gotta go. I'll be back. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's your chance. It's free. Hit the button. So if you're eagle-eyed enough to notice that big fluffy thing I had on here has changed over, yeah, the tripod, when I went and pressed stop on the last bit of video, fell over, and the transmitter, which is the bit that connects the microphone to the phone, smashed.